Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast. I am so happy to have you here. I am happy to be here. I have so many things just swirling around in my mind. Both Matt and I actually feel the same way. We just recently got back late last week, actually, at the time of recording this, from LA. We were there for our second experience for Chris and Lori Harder's dinner series. That was our big investment this year for personal development and personal and business growth. And our brains have been just so full, and our hearts so full since we got back from last week's experience in Beverly Hills, California. And it was amazing. We had special guest Brendan Bouchard there, and we both have so many notes that we were pumped to just kind of like sit together and go through and produce some really great episodes for you as takeaways for what we learned at dinner series from expanding our network. We've actually had some great conversations just in these last few days since being home of the real momentum that comes from building a high-level network. And that is what this is. It's a high-level networking dinner, afternoon, and evening experience. And it is really, truly amazing what happens when you put yourself in these rooms and you build your network, you expand your mind, your dreams, what motivates you. We are gearing up for our first ever mastermind, our Get in the Room mastermind. There is still actually 2 spots left. And that is Thursday, June 20th in beautiful Ontario wine country. So we'll always ensure that the details are in the show notes. And as always, if you have any questions, just hit me up. Send me a DM and I would love to connect and answer any questions. But today we are chatting about 2 of our biggest motivators. And I just got in from a walk. I was listening to a podcast, and motivation and the will to win was part of the topic. And it got me thinking about what motivates you. And I would say I identify as a very highly motivated individual. I actually was just recommending to one of our trainers at Benchmark a bunch of books that I love. One of them was Brendan Bouchard's High Performance Habits. And also I will recommend it here. It's an excellent book. He is a high performance coach who is absolutely remarkable. He has his whole platform, Growth Day, that houses some exceptional speakers like Lori Harder, Mel Abraham, Trent Shelton. You guys get to learn from the best. So I would highly recommend that you go pay Growth Day a visit and try it out. But his book, High Performance Habits, is one of my favorites. And both Matt and I have now read it, and I'm happy to recommend that to other people. So I am a very highly motivated individual, but I'm also human. I also have moments where I get in funks, and it could come from fatigue. It could come from overwhelm. And I was actually just listening to a Brendan Bouchard podcast as well about fatigue. And I feel like that could be a really cool topic for another episode, because we are exposed to so many things that it is fatiguing for our brains. However, our brains are also working on overdrive if you are really motivated. And that's what I kind of want to dive into today is 2 of the biggest things that motivate us as people. One of which is our dreams. So here's a question for you. Do you dream big? I just had my first ever girlfriend walk that I host monthly. We had the first one this past Wednesday, and we go for a walk. It's all about, community and connection. And then we'll finish at a destination. We finished at a local restaurant on the patio with some mocktails, some rosé spritzes, and some nibbles. And I was really intentional of wanting to ask these girls some big questions, not necessarily like, oh, what are you going to go home and have for dinner? Because I'm sure it's going to be wonderful, but that's not a super fulfilling conversation to have. And I want to be intentional with the conversations and the connections that these girls have. They invest their time and energy to be there on a Wednesday evening. I want it to be impactful for them. And it's amazing when you ask somebody, what's your dream? Some of them don't know. And that's okay. You want to ensure that you have time and space to think about that. And I think that is a really important thing to acknowledge when designing your dreams is allowing yourself to have that time and space and cleared energy so that you can get clear on what your dreams are. And, Matt and I are very proud investors in a few different companies, one of which is Lori Harder's Glossy. I'm a very proud, passionate investor. And I love hearing her talk about her dream. It is so articulate and so clear. And I feel so confident to have, stood behind her and proudly give her money and be a part of what she's building and creating and this journey. And she is so clear on what that is. And it almost like beat me up or anyone that is in her proximity to hear her talk about her dream. And she talks about how she's living in her dream. And sometimes I feel that way too. And again, I'm human. So there are times where I do experience overwhelm and fatigue. But when you can really sit and feel like you are in your dream, and maybe it's not done yet. Like I know that Matt and I are not done building what we dream about. And that almost excites me in a whole other capacity because we have the power to design a life that we love and a life that we want. But what are we doing to put that into action? What are we consuming? Who are we hanging around with to ensure that we are positively impacting our dreams? So our dreams are one of the biggest motivators that we have at our disposal. And I think being very intentional with how you talk about your dreams, and again, who you talk about those dreams to, because not everyone is going to be, certainly not going to be aligned with your dream. And that's totally cool. But they're also, not everyone is going to be cheering you on. And that, unfortunately, is life. That is your relationship capital. Relationship capital changes. There are ways to add and expand your relationship capital, something like, a high level networking event and being in those rooms where everyone is super like-minded. But having those people around you as your support system and your like hype squad to cheer you on in your dream, to ask you about your dream. I think it's so important to check in on people. Like, how's your dream going? Are you in your dream right now? What can I do to serve you and support you, and offering that kindness and that support and that good energy? So our dreams, one of our number one biggest motivator. And the second one is people. People are another big motivator for us. And I feel like that is almost like, 2A and 2B. And we'll break it down. So 2A is people that you love and care about. And 2B would be people that you want to prove wrong. So for 2A, people that you love and care about, for any of you that are listening to this that are parents, I would imagine, make decisions based off of your children or your grandchildren. What kind of legacy do you want to leave them? What do you want to do to support them? Do you want to care for them? Do you have aging parents that you want to care for, or grandparents? Who in your life is it that you are building your dream for, that motivates you, that, you've heard Matt and I say this on the show before together, that we really look forward to the time. And I really look forward to it being soon in the near future, taking our family on a all expenses paid trip. It's something that motivates us literally to work hard and build our dream, build these wealth streams and our wealth portfolio, and then being able to do something like that brings us joy. So is it people that you love and care about that are motivating factors for you? But is it also 2B, wanting to prove those naysayers wrong, or those trolls, or somebody that picked on you in grade 6 and you've never been able to get over it? This list could probably go on and on. And I'll even give you a personal example, because it was something that I thought of for years, and then I achieved it, and it felt so freaking good. So some of you might know that I have a little side hustle in network marketing. And though it is not as prominent in my, let's call it, wealth portfolio right now, it had a very prominent place in the years where our brick and mortar gym, Benchmark Fitness, was closed, because I had all this time and had no revenue coming from our brick and mortar business. So I really leaned into this network marketing biz. And I had already had the business for many years before that. But I always got kind of, those backhanded comments, and people didn't really understand network marketing. And there's probably a large population of people that still don't. And that's totally cool. But I totally experienced those sort of naysayers. And one of the biggest things I wanted to do in my business was prove these people wrong and show them that no, you can make a good income from this. And I had two goals. I wanted to walk across the stage at the annual convention with, some sort of award. And I wanted to earn one of the recognition trips that you got to go on and it's fully paid for. Those were two big goals I had in my business that for me was attached to proving people wrong. And it was very powerful. I can confidently confirm that. And guess what? I walked across the stage, not 1 year, but 2 years in a row. And I earned not one, not two, but 3 all expenses paid trips. However, that was in the years of sort of, 2020 to 2023. So you probably all know what happened to those earned trips. They did not involve a hotel or a suitcase or an airplane. So, it was nice to get the payout for it. That was great. But I really wanted the Instagram photo to really complete that, that motivation factor. But when I was thinking about this on the dog walk of how I wanted to record this episode for all of you guys and was thinking about these two motivating factors, I immediately thought of that. And I love being able to share personal stories with you. A, you get to know me a little bit better, but B, hopefully you find it a bit more relatable because it is attached to a specific example. And I think that is something that I can leave with you here is think about what motivates you. Is it your dreams? Are your dreams so big that you are so dialed into what you are building and creating, what you are consuming? What kind of books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What TV shows are you watching? Or are you not watching TV because you are so busy building your dream? Who are you hanging around? Are they helping you move the needle on your dream? Maybe you need to collect a few more friends. Maybe you need to pay to get into a room where there are people that are going to support you with building your dream. And that was actually a very common conversation we heard last week in Beverly Hills at the dinner series. A lot of us related to the fact that it was really prominent that sometimes, we have to pay to be here because look at who we get to be around. Look at these people that we get to connect with and collaborate with. And it is truly remarkable to see what can come out of putting some money down, putting some skin in the game. And I am a big advocate for that now, even with some of my events, these small ticket events. You commit your $30 that you work hard for, but now you're committed to going. And who knows what kind of relationships you're going to build and people that you're going to meet. So thinking about, where can you spend more time supporting the building process of your dreams? That is what motivates you. But then also maybe thinking about, is it people that motivate you, who you really love and care for and want to create for? Or is it someone or some people that you want to prove wrong? And hey, if it's people on the internet, those are people too. They hide behind a screen, but they are people too. So maybe that's a motivating factor for you. So I think that's what I would love, love, love to leave you with is think about in your life, your daily routine. What is it that motivates you? And then get very clear on how you can take action steps one by one to go after those dreams, to prove those people wrong, and be just amazing at motivating yourself by being so clear on what you are motivated by. Sounds kind of like a riddle. It's like a little brain game. But I am so excited to just connect with all of you. And I'm so grateful to have you here. So if you ever have any questions, guests you want to hear, I have some amazing guest episodes coming up from my recent trip to California. And I'm pumped for you to hear that. And I'm always open, just slide into the DMs, questions, comments, people that you want to hear, topics you want to hear us chat about, whether it's solo, interviews, me and Matt. We would love to hear from you. And I would always grateful for a 5-star rating, review, and just some words of love. I'm a words of affirmation girly. So anything that you have to say that's with love and kindness means so much to me. Thank you so much for listening, for being here, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.